Under mounting pressure to address the migrant crisis, today President Biden will make his first trip to the border as president.
Folks at the border sending me what they need that they don't have.
His focus, El Paso, which has been the epicenter. The number of border crossings reached record highs here in mid-November. Nationwide, Border Patrol stopped migrants crossing the southern border illegally, a record 2.6 million times last year.
Yeah, so look on this video, we're going to be talking about Biden going to the border. He's heading to the border for the first time as president. Now, I don't understand why it's taken him this long. The vice president has been there. A lot of these other officials, the Democrat officials, leaders, politicians, members of Congress haven't been there. There's no liberal or, Democratic outcry about the amount of people passing the border, crossing the border, entering the border. Now, listen, according to the United States law, you cannot enter the United States without proper presentation of who you are, why you're here, that type of thing. When I go to other countries, and even from when I'm in another country and I come back, I have to give them the passport. Why? Where have you been? They ask me questions. Where are you going? Why are you going there? And what are you going to be doing there? Are you going to be bringing anything back? All these kind of questions they can think of, right? But I'm a legal citizen, okay? I'm not a legal citizen of another country. I have to have a passport in order to get into their country. They can deny me to get in their country, but I have to go through proper procedures. Now, these people are coming across, and most of them are being released. A lot of them are being sent to other cities. Most of them are just finding their way into, areas. Some are going to family members that are already here, and some are just sleeping on the streets. According to the American Immigration Reform Federation, 4.9 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border since Biden has been president. Now, I look at it this way. This is not just an American issue. This has a European issue, whether it's Ireland or I don't necessarily think about too much of Spain, but what I've seen is it's France, it's Germany, come on, think of another couple countries right off the top of your head.
A migrant and refugee caravan on the road on the edge of Europe. Hundreds of people in Belarus make their way to the border with Poland. Their ultimate destination, German! The Polish government has said thousands are now gathering close to the border post near Kusnica. A few hours later, with tensions mounting, migrants start collapsing small trees onto the fence. Others, surprisingly well equipped, start cutting the wire with bolt cutters. The Poles have deployed around 12,000.
But yeah, you can go with that. I mean, it's mostly European countries that they're coming into, and they're not Mexicans, but there might be some Arab descent, Middle Eastern descent, some of these other countries. A lot of them have to do with African countries that are coming into there. So it's not just an American issue. It's an issue that is worldwide, and it's being allowed to happen. Obviously, when you bring in people that are not familiar with the way you do things, they're familiar with their culture that they're coming into. A lot of them aren't, people doing business. A lot of them are just poor, looking for a better life, whatever the case. I mean, everybody that's in America now, for thousands of years are all immigrants. Nobody has just shot out of the ground, right? So here's what President Biden had to say about it. Biden said, "My administration is using the tools available to limit the illegal immigration, expand legal pathways to immigration, and increase security." I haven't seen any of that. Have you? Comment below, please. I haven't seen any.
But when it comes to immigration, it seems like it's a better issue for them than trying to solve it. Look, we need more resources to secure the border. Yet again, extreme Republicans have said no. Many Republicans agree we should do something. But it's time to stop listening to their inflammatory talk. It's time to look at the record. As I've always done when I sit down, I'll sit down with anyone who...
Increased security. I haven't seen any expanded pathways. I haven't seen any of that. They just dump. I mean, obviously they're trying to give these people somewhere to stay. They're trying to giving them rooms in, hotels, and they're feeding them. They're giving them cell phones, that type of thing. But I don't see any, you know what? Like I said before, there should be several buildings that process these people if they want to come into the country. Why are they here? They can layer them across the border, but makeshift buildings, and say, why are you here? What are you going to do here? And then give them proper information. I'm sure they do that already, right? I'm not acting like I'm stupid, but make it more logistic, right? Say, hey, this dude is in, this dude is out, take him back to the border and let him go that way, right? I mean, that would be the simplest way to do it. I don't know. You let them all in? I don't have the answers. I'm not a politician. I'm not making a law. But I'm saying what's going on now is chaos. You can't allow, it's just going to, this is brewing to be just a nightmare. Okay. These people have nowhere to live. They have no jobs. They're sleeping on the street. They're cold. They're going to exhort to any way that, the natural human instinct is to survive. So in another video, this is what Biden had to say.
In fact, today, I'm announcing that Mexico has agreed to allow to return up to 30,000 persons per month who get caught and get sent back from those 4 countries.
He goes to the border, right? And instead of going to the areas that people are crossing, like Eagle Pass, right? He goes to a secure section of the wall with border security, right? I mean, he's walking, he's getting these photo ops, and he's walking to a secure area where there's a border wall, which is, I think, is totally, that in its own is saying exactly what he should be doing. I mean, you just take a look at the picture and saying, this is what you should be doing, right? He goes down there, and it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? I mean, it's all I can think of. And this is what his press secretary had to say. I just listen.
The president inherited a mess because of what the last administration did. We inherited a mess. And, Republicans in Congress made it worse by blocking comprehensive immigration reform. And so what you're seeing from this president is he's acting. He's acting to protect, to continue to protect the border, secure the border, and also deal with irregular migration. That is what he's going to continue to do that.
They're going to blame it on everybody else. They're going to blame it on, why is everybody always passing the buck? I don't get it. Like, take responsibility and do something about it, right? I mean, you say, oh, it's just a Republicans' problem. It's a Trump problem. They haven't been in office for 2 years. This should have been handled the first few days and take care of this. But I believe this is a concentrated effort by the Ghost families. Okay, if you want to know what Ghost family is, I will break down that video at another date. But this is a constant theme throughout most of the well-established countries in the world, right? And it's a concentrated effort to break down their civilization. And it's not, I don't think it really has to do with race. I think it's about the overwhelming amount of people that are coming in. The people that have not, for whatever reason, in their own country. I think my understanding is, and these people should be helping their own country out if it's that bad there, right? Instead of making their way to somewhere else where they think there's milk and honey. But I'm not in that situation. If I was in that dire straits, I would find something. I don't know what it's like to grow up in a communist country. I think there's 8 billion people on this planet now, and most of the people are run by these ghost families. Nobody's doing anything about it. So I guess that we all live under this heavy hand, so to speak. Biden administration actually sued Arizona over the construction of a makeshift border while using shipping containers and razor wire. Now, what's said about it is that this was actually trespassing on federal grounds. They were sued to take these shipping containers down, which they are doing now. Maybe it is on federal lands, but this would have been like, hey, man, if they're putting up these things, let's go out and help them out. Let's finish this wall. But that, like I say, I'm thinking rational. These people got an agenda. They're told what to do and constantly ignoring the situation. Now, Biden only made this decision to go to the border after the Congress, the House of Representatives were taken over by Republicans. You notice that? He didn't even talk about the border up until this point. The department alleged that the wall violated federal laws, stating that the government has sovereign property rights at the border that did not appear to propose the alternative solution to prevent migrant crossings in Arizona. They didn't do anything. I mean, nothing. They didn't come up with, say, hey, you know what? You guys are having an issue with these migrants coming across. We're going to go down there and we're going to construct a wall. So there was nothing. Just take the containers down and live with it, right? You guys take your money from other areas that you need for your government and your state, but use it to take care of these migrants, which I think is totally irresponsible. But like I say, I'm not in charge. All right. All I got to do is live with it. With this whole deal, the Biden administration has also extended the travel vaccine ban until April 10th, if you want to call it a ban. Okay. So anybody that's coming into the United States must have a vaccine. But if you're a migrant, illegal, according to the law, you're illegal. You don't need a vaccine. Okay. And I'm sure most of these people don't have vaccines. It's simple. You just look at it, you read the headlines, and you say, there it is, black and white. I don't need to say anything else. I mean, most of these websites, most of these news sites, misinformation news sites that you read, they put it out there in black and white, the truth. It's there. But they always go off to another subject. They don't expand on what that actually means. They spin it enough where Biden looks like this hero waving his cape and doing his thing, but I ain't got nothing. I really don't. I mean, as an individual, all I can do is give you this information. And what happens is when these people in the government make these statements, the misinformed, the misled, the people that don't, I know a ton of them, and you probably do too, that just read the headlines and they get that's how they get their information. They don't read down. They don't have the time. They don't care. And they listen to what their neighbor tells them. They listen to what the news tells them. And depending on what news agency to listen to, which is a ton of misinformation out there, all these news gathering information. It doesn't have to be CNN. It can be Reuters. It can be Yahoo. It can, just continue. They're all spreading misinformation. They're doing it intentionally, and I'm still looking into why they're doing it. Other than they want to destroy the American way of life. These people, whether they're in the Congress or they're well-to-do corporate leaders or these news agencies, they don't live in these environments. They have a plush place that they live, well-to-do areas that these migrants won't go to. They don't have the means, right? So they don't have like a house or a family that lives in these areas. So these up-to-date people, whether they're in Congress or well-to-do people for whatever thing, they don't see this. So out of sight, out of mind. So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and send this to your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Post it on your social media sites. I'd appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye now.